What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Soul Health with Nurse Blue. I'm Nurse Blue, and for the next few minutes, I am here to build, love, unite, and empower you about soul health. And guess what, guys? I have a really important message. This is actually a public service announcement. But before I make that announcement, for those of you who are just joining me for the very first time, welcome home, sweetheart. I'm your nurse. I'm Nurse Blue. And if you're looking for ways to live your best life and become the best version of yourself, like you want to continue to become better over time, and you're looking for holistic ways to do that, honey, let me just say, welcome home. Hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and listen to this public service announcement. Now I'm back. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you. Guys, this is so important. I'm turning down my angelic music in the background for this one. America, Black America, White America, Hispanic America, Asian America, and all of the wonderful people that are Americans out there that represent America. Nurse Blue has an important message. We are sick, okay? Sick on every level, absolutely. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Well, actually, I'm not, because the truth will set you free. And we have to address this because first and foremost, 98% of the reason why we're sick is in our hands, because America is a reflection of us. And I know that is so hard to even accept for me, because as Americans, we have branded ourselves as the number one country. Well, that's not this, what a difference a day makes, but that's not the case any longer. And we have sold ourselves as being number one, right? So that means we have a lot of pride. And so when something this raw can come from myself, the ego of America is probably like, well, who the hell does she think she is? She doesn't know me. Honey, I love you. I'm Nurse Blue. And Nurse Blue, let me just help you understand, because I'm a nurse. If I was in a hospital that you or your family member found themselves at, I would treat them like God would want me to treat them, with unconditional love. But because I don't work in hospitals, that's not going to be the case. But if that was my situation, I would, right? And so I'm going to give you the kind of love that is going to support us, because let me just explain this to you. Because we are so sick, Nurse Blue is here to help create heaven on earth, because, honey, I refuse, absolutely refuse to live in hell. And if you are a person that lives in America and you refuse to live in hell, then this message is for you. And for those of you where hell is where you want to be, hey, go find some other channel for you, because that's not what we're here about. That's not what we're here for. Now, if you are right now experiencing the anxiety that comes with living in America right now, when we are sick, and when I mean sick, I mean we are politically sick, we are culturally sick, we are socially sick, and economically sick, and educationally, because of all of the things that are taking place right now. We will be sick. And the human capital, as I look around and I am looking at the research, and I am, reading the statistics, and also seeing all of this play out in the media right now. Our human capital, our souls are heavy with so much toxicity, because we are carrying 8 levels of fear. 8 levels of fear. We know that fear is out in the atmosphere. Everyone is talking about fear, but the reason why we have yet to learn how to defeat fear in the way that it must be defeated right now, because our fear has been transferred generationally. Like, America right now is suffering from generations of toxins that we've never effectively dealt with. And this is the generation right now that is responsible for us doing the soul work, because let me tell you, sweetheart, there's not a pill for what I'm talking about right now. There's a pill for you to help you get through the signs and symptoms of anxiety. There's a pill for you to help you deal with the high blood pressure that comes from this. There's a pill to help you deal with increased anxiety will alter your hormones. So it's a pill to help you manage cortisol when it goes up, because baby, when cortisol goes up, inflammation goes up as well. When cortisol goes up, blood sugar goes up as well. So there's a pill for diabetes. There's a pill for every single sign and symptom you're going to have that can potentially lead to disease if it hasn't already, because many people are suffering not from one disease, but 2, 3, and 4, and taking pills for each of that, right? And I am with you, because I myself, the reason how I ended up on this track, on the soul health and wellness track, because I was on that path. I had to shift gears, because I came into the understanding that the solution is not in the body. And many of you guys know that, right? Which is why soul health is the other option. And when you're dealing with fear, you don't deal with fear medicating fear. Fear is a spiritual dysfunction. Fear is a spiritual dysfunction that is actually impacting you on a spiritual level, but it is showing up in the body as signs and symptoms of disease. So when your heart rate goes up, fear is increasing that heart rate, right? When your blood pressure goes up, fear is increasing that blood pressure. When that fear level increases, fear is destabilizing everything around you. Okay, so let's deal with that reality. So your number one enemy right now is fear, and it's spiritual. Now, for those of you who own a Bible and read it, because a lot of people own Bibles, but they don't read it. But for those of you who understand that fear is a spiritual disease, knows that fear comes to steal what? Your peace, because that's what fear does. Now, if it's already if it's still in your peace, fear is coming after your health, sweetheart. If you have stress is the number one killer. So if fear is coming to steal your peace, that's your enemy. It's come to kill your joy. Joy is a supplement for the soul. The more joy you have, the more health you have. So if you are deprived of joy, if you're living or existing or working or just in a toxic environment, with all of this tension, there's toxic environments in corporate America now because of all of the recent changes in this administration. There's toxic environment in households right now because when money gets tight, pressures go up. There's toxic environment socially right now because every button that can possibly be pushed that will create some type of trigger that brings us back to what America was many, many years ago, which was a place that was filled with a lot of oppression. They are doing everything they can right now to get us in a disease state, a state of dis-ease in our soul, so it can manifest in a disease for the body. But there's a way out for all of us, and it's called soul health. And that's why you need Nurse Blue, because soul health and wellness is really the answer. Now, guys, listen, I love you. I really, really do. And one thing we must understand is that whatever is happening in America, and I need you to take a deep breath with me because I know Americans have a hard time seeing our truth. I am American. I have had a hard time seeing my truth. Baby, I was as narcissistic as they could possibly become. Okay, you are not looking at the same Nurse Blue. Nurse Blue has had to go through some soul pain and to get to this point where I can even be an expert in this area for you. So I know what it feels like to have to deal with the truth, right? But the truth is the only thing that's going to set us free. So your signs and symptoms, which is showing up as signs and symptoms of disease, you're really suffering from lies and ignorance, quite frankly. And that lies and ignorance is being manipulated in all kinds of ways right now. However, when you decide to say yes to soul health, what you're doing is you're taking yourself back from the lie that is being told to you. You have decided that, number one, when you say yes to soul health, you say yes to taking full responsibility for your life, right? Meaning you're about to step in and do the work. Right? Meaning whatever the doctor is saying, whatever the nurse is saying, or whoever your medical practitioner is, understand that they are a person just like you, and they are practicing in the field of medicine. And if you do not like the option that is available to you that they're offering you, soul health is another solution for you to go and learn about how you function on a soul level, because the answer is not in the body, it's in the soul. And you need to understand the anatomy and physiology of that soul. You need to understand how that soul communicates with another system of the body that you may not be familiar with. Why? Because modern medicine does not teach the number one system in your body, which is the COO, like the Chief Operating Center, Chief Operating Officer, right? The Chief Optimization Officer of your body, the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of your body is a system that also, it has 3 letters, ECS. It stands for endocannabinoid system. And if you want to invest in long-term health and wellness, if you want to reverse disease, you have to have an understanding about how the soul communicates with that system and how that system impacts the other 11 systems of the body. Because now we're in the health and wellness area. Everything else, that ain't health and wellness. Now, when you start learning this is what the box is offering you. The box is offering you treating your signs and symptoms. And many of you are understanding that going down that track is leading to some additional problems for you. There's a lot of adverse reactions that can come going down that track. Adverse problems that can result in you later on having problems with the very organs that you're trying to save. Problems with your kidneys, problems with your liver, problems with your heart. Understand, every chemical has a reaction, and you don't know how these chemicals are playing out in your body, along with what you're eating, along with the stress, along with these phones and technology, along with the pressures of everything and everybody around you, and you're so distracted. Because many of us, one of the things that women do in particular, and a lot of men, particularly professional people, when we don't want to deal with something, when it's too uncomfortable for us, we become workaholics. And workaholics lead to heart disease. Okay? So I need you to understand this. There's a way out. And there's a way forward. And I want to invite you to learn about what soul health is all about. Let's meet over music. For those of you who enjoy music, Nurse Boo has the best music on planet Earth. And music in the Soul Health and Wellness Club, which is what I'm inviting you next to come and be a part of, is a modality used to help bring ease to the soul. That's what music is for. Now, for many years now, music has been used to poison us. And quite frankly, a lot of that needs to be detoxed, right? So if you want to learn more about what Soul Health and Wellness is all about, what Nurse Blue is all about, the endocannabinoid system, I have such a beautiful way for us to get to know each other. Let's meet over music. Download the Clubhouse app, which is it's a sound audio app. It is so damn cool. All of this is free, okay? And let me just tell you, you can come into a space with me on Wellness Wednesdays, because I'm a nurse, so come and let's do a wellness hour together. Tell your boss, look, I am going to a health and wellness appointment, and you don't even have to bill your damn insurance, okay? All right? Now, download the app, and then I'm there for the radical self-love party, because, baby, let me tell you this. if you're going down this soul health journey, you might be doing a little bit of self-love right now. Okay, self-love for me, for many years, I was the mani and pedi person, going to the spa, still do, going to the spa and, you know, doing the kind of decorating my pain really well. Okay, and you can be in a self-love all your life and never, you can be in self-care your entire life and never truly understand what self-love is. So when you move from the self-care model into it's time for me to do my soul work because I'm so uncomfortable, I'm dealing with some fears, some things are taking place right now in my personal universe that is showing up as dis-ease. Dis-ease look like relationships may be falling apart. You are experiencing what appears to be scarcity in your life. Maybe you recently lost a contract. Maybe you have a health situation you're dealing with, or you're supporting others as they are maneuvering instability and you don't know how to approach these matters. And so your fears are compounding, they're building up here. And you feel like you need some relief, you need some answers, you're ready to go in and start doing some work and learning something more. Soul health is definitely something you should take a look at and go in and be willing to do that. That is radical self-love. It is moving from self-care to radical self-love. You deserve to know how to align your soul with what is best for your health and well-being. You deserve to learn about what wholeness really is and how to build a lifestyle around it. And you also deserve to know what good music can do for your mind, your body, and your soul. So, once you come and be a part of the musical experience Wednesdays, noon Eastern time in the Soul Health and Wellness Club Sound Studio on Clubhouse, then become a part of the club. The club is another free community where you can learn about soul health and wellness. But what I do is I integrate some more visual, some audio visual, some online courses into the mix and really help you understand the freedom that you're really looking for. It's a frequency. And that frequency can be achieved when you learn how to achieve joy. And joy is really a medicine for the soul. And what's happening in the United States is that we're suffering from a joy deficiency. I mean, authentic joy, right? Something happened today, which is so interesting. I'm actually going to do a video on this, but China, as a response to the increase in tariffs, they've decided to really pull the wool off of many Americans' eyes. I knew of it, but they were like, listen, for all of you that have been using your hard-earned money to invest in brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Hermes and all of these luxury brands, premium brands that so many people have spent thousands. There are some people who have spent $10,000 for these bags, $20,000 for these bags, $30,000 for these bags. And China said, yeah, you paid $30,000 for that, but it was $10 for us to make it. And I want you to sit with that, because many people who I've worked with over the years, I've been that person who invested in what we thought success was, what luxury is, and all of that. And people have built identities around these brands and all of that. And that was just on some level, many people are processing the blow around that. And if you haven't, maybe that might be something you want to go in and think about. If you've been a person that has been highly driven to pursue brands to support your identity, brands like Louboutin or brands like Gucci and Fendi or Prada or Hermes, whatever the brand is, right? Trust me, I've done a lot of it in my life, right? But what came with supporting that brand was a lot of sweat equity in the work that, created the resources for those brands. And for China to kind of say, nah, what you really paid for was that you were manipulated economically. And the money that you invested in us should have been invested in your children's education, because the United States, they made money off the brands. They made money off your money and sold you an illusion with the entertainment industry and with marketing that these brands were worth this, when all along we were selling it to them for $6 to $10 for brags you were paying $500 to $30,000 for, whatever, whatever that may be. And this is a time when we need to really start examining who we are. And you need to start examining it, because as I said before, one of the hardest things, this is a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. As a nurse, sometimes the medicine that nurses have to give might come in the form of an injection, right? And the doctor would tell you it's going to sting right now. There are some pills that you may have to swallow, and they are awful, or some cough syrup, right? Here's something that I'm going to ask you to allow me to share with you so it can benefit our soul health and wellness process. And I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. That is why the Most High gave us deep breaths for days like this, because in order for us to heal, who we are on a individual level and on a collective level, and I really do believe in us getting there. I really do. We have to first be willing to see ourselves. And if you want to lose weight, you have to be willing to get on the scale. If you want to change, you have to be willing to look at the mirror, the man or the woman in that mirror, and say, today is the day. And what I am simply telling you guys, as your soul health and wellness nurse, as someone who has been serving people since I have been born, from someone who lived in toxic environments most of my life as a toxic person, quite frankly, and then did the work to get on the other side to love everybody unconditionally. Now, that doesn't mean that I am here for I don't participate in abusive relationships anymore. And so that's because soul health requires for you to clean up your act. But also, I am not a person that believes in abuse. Okay? So what that means is self-abuse. And many of us don't realize we are abusing ourselves with our habits. We are abusing ourselves with our energy. We are abusing ourselves on levels that we don't even realize, because we're so disconnected from our own truth. And so when we're looking at America right now, it's time to stop running away from it and just own this. America is a reflection of us, not them, us, each and every one of us. And I know that is so damaging to the ego, because it took me so long to embrace that, but I could not change my condition unless I was willing to deal with the toxicity that was in my soul. And I'm here to support people who are willing to do that. And it doesn't have to be hard. But what it does require is that we're willing to look at our fears, and it's 8 levels of those fears. And real quickly, I'm just going to run them off to you now. I'm looking at them on my wall. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief. Then you got another 4. Fear, desire, anger, and pride. And as long as pride is right there leading the pack, because what pride keeps you from doing, you can't even see yourself. You cannot go on this path authentically until you're willing to surrender pride, because pride will not allow you to see your truth. It won't allow you to hear your truth. You won't be able to forgive yourself and others. And if you're not willing to go there, then this ain't right for you. You go ahead and take your pills. Because forgiveness is necessary. Okay? All right? Okay? For those of us who have been taught to follow Christ, that was the lesson he came to teach, forgiveness. And most people don't realize their unforgiveness is killing them. In so many ways. So it is absolutely necessary for us to get there. Secondly, you need to be in community, because this is about going on a new path and you don't have to do it alone, right? And it's also allowing yourself to open up to some new ideas that support a healing formula that I believe in, that I have seen work over and over and over again. And it's called the Blue Formula. And I'm just here to live up to my name, Blue. And what it is, we're here to build each other, but building somebody else. You don't start building you by focusing on somebody else. You got to start building you by building you. Once you learn how to build you, and what that means on the soul level, now you can start reversing some things that might be impacting you health-wise on physically, okay? You have to learn what love is. Unconditional love, not this fake stuff out here, not this stuff that, got people out here confused. Narcissism is a large part of the American culture. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, it is a part of the American psyche on a lot of different levels. I'm not calling everybody a narcissist, but everybody has experienced what narcissism is here in America. And so we need to understand, we need to be able to self-examine how much has it polluted our souls. I'm examining all the time. I've had to do a lot of detoxing from soul pollution, and that narcissism shows up in those 8 things. It's up that fear. That narcissism is leading in our shame and our guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. So when we are willing to radically self-love, we're willing to go there and release so we can increase. Because who the hell don't want more joy, peace, and love here? I mean, who don't want that? That's what heaven and earth is all about. You want to learn how to go, and you want to learn how to lean into the blue. You want to go blue, baby. Go blue. Blue means build, love, unite, and empower. And you want to do that owning the idea of operating in a sound mind, operating in power, love, and a sound mind. And how do you do that? You lean into the blue, where you build, love, unite, and empower yourself. You have to learn how to unite, because once you deal with those soul toxins with love, now you can unite the broken pieces of what's going on in your soul and align your soul with that endocannabinoid system. Because now your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, they're all in alignment with where you want to go, right? And now when you are in alignment on a soul level, you can be in alignment on a physical level, right? And you want to do that in a safe community, and in a way where you're working with someone who's done the work and who's studied, who's training in this, and who just supports, your health and well-being, our health and well-being. And we're all learning and growing together. So at the end of the day, y'all, come on, let's do it. I'm going to put my link down. You can go to my website, IamNurseBlue.com. You can learn more about, all I'm doing. Come to one of the parties. Become a member of the online community. You want to stop by the classroom, see all the goodies that I have for you. But look, just don't come and become a member and do nothing. Come and contribute. Come and... Ooh. Look, this would only happen with a Nurse Blue, okay? All right, y'all. I may have to do this one over. But anyway... Wasn't that a great laugh? Okay. That's what soul health is all about. I ain't doing this over. I knocked over the mic. It is what it is. Come to the next party next Wednesday, or this Wednesday. I don't know when you're going to see it, but noon Eastern time. Can't wait to see you. Come and enjoy some blue soul music designed to build, love, unite, and empower people. And check out the stuff I got in the club. Let me know what you think, okay? All right, guys. I hope this was helpful. And I really, really, really hope, guys, if nothing else, you deserve to learn how to align your soul and your endocannabinoid system. It's a critical time. Stop living in toxic environments. Stop settling for toxic environment. Stop settling for habits that keep you in a toxic state. Soul health is the damn solution. Let's go. All right. Bye-bye.